What is trauma?
Yeah. So trauma, really, there is no one universal definition. It's more so the meaning that an individual assigns to it. But we know that there are all kinds of adverse life experiences that can happen to people that really supersede their day-to-day coping and functioning skills. So we work with various forms of interpersonal traumas, abuses, attachment dysregulation, neglect, but we also work with things like home invasions, deaths by suicide, death by murder, and sadly things like human trafficking and exploitation. So, but really, again, it comes back to what the meaning the individual assigns to the experiences and the impact that it has on them as a unique individual.
Got it. So, like, that's trauma and the many definitions of trauma. What is specifically PTSD?
So when we talk about PTSD, that's an official diagnosis, and we typically don't work through the diagnostic lens. We're working more so through a window of tolerance lens. So we're looking at affect regulation. And what we understand is about human beings is that when we experience adverse life experiences or extreme states of stress, it can drastically disrupt our ability to function. It can send us into a hyper-aroused state where we're kind of stuck on, where we have too much energy or excess energy. So I often liken this to being stuck on like too much anger, fear, panic, anxiety, even too much excitement. And our body just feels kind of revved up all of the time. Or it can cause us to become stuck on off, where we feel kind of shut down, also referred to as hypoarousal, lethargic, exhausted, like we have nothing left. Quite often what we see with trauma is that people really oscillate between the two. So that kind of normative window of optimal arousal becomes smaller and smaller with the more stress and trauma that we experience. Trauma causes the amygdala, which is our security guard part of the brain, to activate more readily. So the more we experience stress and trauma, the faster and more often we kind of activate, and the less capacity we have to deal with kind of day-to-day stuff without it impacting us in a big way.